The Hobart is one of the greatest races in the world, and this will be one of the greatest races of the greatest races in the world.
It's about 630 odd nautical miles of challenging conditions. It's an adventure.
Such a fantastic, fleet of boats and competition. It's going to be great.
There will be nothing short of a line honours victory in the Rolex Sydney to Hobart this year. Anything else won't do. It's first or last.
Away and racing in the 2022 Rolex Sydney Hobart. The Great Race South is on.
Dad, where am I going to go?
Hey, let's go. It's a fantastic event. We love it. It's one of the most iconic ocean races in the world, and we've been a part of it for many, many years, and the Oatley family have been fantastic supporters of us and the event for all those years, and it's just a great vibe.
We're going to be pedal to the metal and blasting down the coast at really high rates of speed. It's going to be really fantastic. I mean, just an exceptional race.
For us, with the epic boat that we've got in Andoo Comanche, with the amazing team of the best sailors we could find from around the world, that means nothing short of a win to us.
More than anything, it's about friendships that you form and you carry on for years during and afterwards. I think it's a cornerstone of yachting for anyone who's an enthusiast.
The Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race demands excellence, precision and commitment. A 628 nautical mile journey from iconic Sydney Harbour down the remarkable New South Wales seaboard, across notorious Bass Strait and through the tricky testing waters posed by the coastline of Tasmania. 4 100-foot maxis led one of the most highly anticipated tussles for line honours in recent memory. Each of the professional crews armoured with plenty of motivation. Andoo Comanche, the 3-time Line Honours winner and race record holder, with a new skipper at the helm. John Winning Jr. enjoying a commanding start to his 2-year charter of this historic boat. She was the early favourite for many after wins in varied conditions across the east coast of Australia during the year. Blackjack, the defending Line Honours champion, with owner Peter Harburg on board and ace skipper Mark Bradford once again at the helm. Hamilton Island Wild Oats, the most successful Line Honours winner in race history. A record 9 wins to her name, and back in the Rolex Sydney Hobart for the first time since 2019. And LawConnect, owner Christian Beck, looking to take another step on the podium after successive runner-up finishes. With incredible Rolex Sydney Hobart pedigree and some of the sharpest navigators in world sailing on each boat, the finest margins look set to decide who would lift the John H. Illingworth Challenge Cup and take home a coveted Rolex timepiece. The first challenge, getting off to a clean start on an action-packed Sydney Harbour, providing an incredible spectacle for the masses watching on land, sea and on TV screens across the globe.
I like Andoo Comanche early and LawConnect. Now here comes Wild Oats. She's got to tack out of there. She's getting a lot of dirty air. Here she goes. She'll have to take a lot of sterns here. She's on port tack. The interesting battle will be between Andoo Comanche, Blackjack and LawConnect. Boy, this is close here.
Incredible drama already in this race.
They didn't get any room to tack. Here comes LawConnect. She's coming across on port tack with no rights here.
Trim on, jib on, jib on, jib on. Yep, stand by the tack. We're in good shape here. Gonna tack on him. Here we go. Big traveller down. Ease main, ease main, ease main.
So they're the 4 maxis. They'll probably 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now here's a close go. Andoo has no rights. She'll have to duck.
Go, I've got it. Nettie's got it, I've got it.
That is close.
Blackjack is absolutely threading the needle between LawConnect and Hamilton Island Wild Oats. Wow, Mark Bradford, terrific job. Wow, that was nervous stuff.
I think we hit.
Yeah, they did hit them. Turning mark's gone down their side though.
Testing.
Oh, it's all happening. It is all happening. And there's Murray Jones. They're clear. Wild Oats is on her way.
So that's 2 spins they need to do, and they'll clear their penalty and they go on in the race.
Boy, that was tense. LawConnect is starting to rumble here. She has really driven hard in this breeze. There's the turning mark. Now, will Hamilton Island Wild Oats do some penalty turns? That's the question.
Let's furl! Let's furl!
They're doing the penalty turns. They're not taking any risks. And this is the smart thing to do. We focus now on Christian Beck's LawConnect. Can she repeat the success of 2016 and win this race for line honours? With a great sight. They've done a sterling job, but starting to rumble out to windward is Andoo Comanche.
The pre-race forecast set the stage for a record-breaking assault. The benchmark, 1 day, 9 hours, 15 minutes and 24 seconds, set by LDV Comanche in 2017, when owned by Jim Cooney and Samantha Grant. Seemingly within reach, as the fleet of 109 boats prepared for hard downwind conditions on the first 2 days at sea.
Day 1 here on the LawConnect. We're just gone 4 hours into the race, just 10 past 5. We're hanging on a little bit to Andoo Comanche. We're just going to keep rumbling down the coast here and hang on as much as we can, and hopefully this breeze picks up and it falls back our way.
After her misadventures in the harbour, Andoo Comanche recovered swiftly, encouraged by a freshening nor'easter. She took the lead just south of Botany Bay, and in consistent, stronger breeze was always going to be difficult to catch. Hamilton Island Wild Oats' bid for a 10th line honours win was hindered on the first night, when she tore a reaching sail, as Andoo Comanche, LawConnect and Blackjack broke away. John Winning Jr. and crew pushed Andoo Comanche to her potential, reaching speeds of up to 30 knots to keep the chasers at bay. But her lead was whittled down to around 7 miles on the approach to Storm Bay, raising the real prospect of a nervous showdown on the often fickle River Derwent. Well, great excitement here in Hobart. We're in the media village for Rolex, and the great news is that Andoo Comanche is in the Derwent River. They've passed the Iron Pot and have about a 20-minute lead over the hard-chasing LawConnect. And with me is the voice of the Rolex Sydney Hobart, Peter Shipway, who's taken line honours on no less than 5 occasions. But Andoo Comanche, this is shaping up as a dream result for John Winning Jr.
Yes, good evening, Gordon, and good evening to everyone. Yes, it's been a terrific performance, no doubt about that. She's basically led from the word go. A few little minor incidents in the harbour, but since then she's just kept on keeping on, and at the moment she's got about 6 miles to go to the finish. She's well in the river, and LawConnect is about 8 miles astern. She's not quite in the river yet. All 4 maxis around Tasman Island in the Storm Bay. Blackjack is about 7 miles behind LawConnect in 3rd place, and then there's another reasonable gap of another about 17 miles to Hamilton Island Wild Oats. She has just rounded Tasman, but at the moment there's wind in the river. That's the good news. A nor'westerly breeze of probably 10 knots or so we should see Andoo Comanche finishing probably certainly within the hour, I would think.
So the line honours record, they had to finish by 10:15 this evening. We're 2 hours past that, so they've gone very close to the race record, and these are live pictures coming up the Derwent River now. And there's quite a big spectator flotilla out there following Andoo Comanche, and a lot of people here watching in the Rolex village right on Kingstock.
And the good news is, Gordon, you can see she's got plenty of pressure, plenty of wind pressure there. There's no calms at the moment in the Derwent, and there's the crowd that are waiting on the dock to welcome Andoo Comanche.
And it's been all guns blazing, hasn't it, from the 1 o'clock start in Sydney Harbour just a day and a half ago. But it's been a dream race with those following conditions, a very quick race for the 100 footers.
It has, Gordon, but I think also once we hear from the crews, I think it would have been tough today out there. The wind was up probably 25, 30 knots, and these boats are big, powerful boats, and there's no room for mistake. And we knew overnight that Wild Oats had blown out a spinnaker, but I'm sure that there's some interesting stories to come.
You look at the fairy tale of this boat. Ian Murray, a 9-time Lion Honours victor on Wild Oats 11, swapping cabs as the sailing master, and John Winning Jr. being influenced by Ian Murray to look at this boat, which was stuck in Antigua under previous owners, and he liked what he saw, and through the Panama Canal they came, and here they are now, approaching the finishing line in the Derwent River.
But for LawConnect, well, it's been a good performance too by Christian Beck and his crew, headed by Tony Mutter and Chris Nicholson. It'll be the fourth time that they've got second place in the race. So poor old Christian Beck, this will be the third time as owner he's got second. Presumably they'll finish that way. But so a good performance, but not quite good enough to get the job done this time.
Yeah, well, you are taking on the fastest 100-footer in world ocean racing.
Looks as though she's just about to go into attack, going from starboard tack to port tack. There they go. See those red instrument lights on the mast? They are giving the helmsman and the trimmers an indication of everything from boat speed to wind angle. And there's the overhead shot from the drone.
Conditions getting very light?
They are, as they're approaching the finish. They are getting a bit light.
Still 6 miles from the finish. Andoo Comanche and astern, LawConnect, is doing twice that speed. They're about 14 knots at the moment, and they're 10 miles astern. Well, what a contrast to last year when the fleet started in that very fierce southerly. 20% of the 88 yachts were out of the race with boat damage on the first night. But favourable following conditions for the 2022 Rolex Sydney Hobart, and this is the first appearance of Comanche since 2019 when she took line honours.
Well, she's got plenty of pressure there. She's moving very, very nicely. She's hard on the wind, but there's plenty of wind. But as we know, as you get closer to Hobart, this river can play a lot of tricks with you. So let's hope that the wind will remain. And this boat, Gordon, built in 2014, was, as you said, by Jim Clark, was built to break records, and boy has she done that. Now she holds the transatlantic record, she holds the 24-hour monohull record, she holds the Transpac record, and this year already she's won the line honours in the Sydney to Gold Coast race, the Cabbage Tree Island race, and also the Caribbean 600. So it's been a stellar year for her.
So just over 4 miles now to the finish for Andoo Comanche.
You know, let's take nothing away from LawConnect and the other two maxis, Blackjack and Hamilton Island. They've pushed hard, just come up a little short, and we're watching now. The lights of Hobart are waiting Andoo Comanche. There's still breeze in the river. It's a lovely, warm night in Hobart, as I said, and the time is about 12:30 in the evening. There's the crowd there. They'll give us all a wave, and they will await the arrival. Those red lights, as I said, Gordon, behind the mast, they're big instruments that allow the helmsman to see the boat speed, the wind angle, allows the trimmers to talk to the helmsman. They're talking all in tandem about how to set this boat up and how to go to maximum potential going upwind.
Probably doing about 12 knots at the moment.
She's gone right over towards Tranmere to tack, and she's now on starboard tack, and she could be laying the Garrow and the finish from out. She's gone so far over to that side of the river. Spectator craft are gathering, and what a sight. Look at that massive mainsail and massive sail area on this boat. And that's what she's aiming for, the lights of Hobart.
And just over 2.5 hours outside the race record for Andoo Comanche. And this boat indeed holds the race record at 1 day, 9 hours and 15 minutes.
There's an average speed of 18.9 knots, and to average that speed you've got to be doing plus 20s most of the time, so it is a difficult record to break. I don't think it's impossible by any means. I think we're going to see in future years, if you get boats like these 4 maxis back, that it is possible that they will certainly lower that record. And we saw this year, we thought that certainly Andoo Comanche would go close. She's fallen short by a couple of hours, but I think in future years that record will get even lower. And, you know, who knows, it could go to 24 hours, and that would take some doing, but it's not impossible. Look at Andoo Comanche now, she's fully wicked up here. See the spectator craft, the speed they're doing gives you some idea of the speed of Andoo Comanche now. She'll be doing 11 or 12 knots. Finishing line closing in quickly now. She won in 2015, 2017 and 2019. The windier the conditions, the harder it is, because you've got to be very accurate in your performance, because one little mistake or one way down the wrong wave can really bring you to disaster. You can see the speed now coming off that starboard rudder, that orange rudder. You can see a good wake coming off that. She's well heeled and not far to go. The breeze is still in, and where we're sitting on the dock, it's there's still plenty of wind about, so this is going to get them home, and I would think get LawConnect home, Blackjack and Hamilton Island Wild Oats. Blackjack is just in the river in third spot, and she's 18 miles ahead of Hamilton Island Wild Oats. But all eyes now on the race leader, and we suspect the race winner.
And she looks as though she may be laying the finishing line here at the lights of the Hobart CBD and also the Tasman Bridge in the background. Just soaking up the atmosphere, Peter. You've been in this situation. What's going through your mind? The emotions must be almost like a roller coaster.
It's relief and joy, really. Relief that you've got there in one piece, and then the joy, of course, of being first home. And it's a special feeling, and these guys will be very, very pleased, thrilled, whatever word you like to use, about this performance. Because it's tough being a favourite. You know, everyone's expecting you to get home, and often that doesn't happen. Get home first, but they haven't let anyone down here, and they've had a lot of pressure on them to perform, and they've performed brilliantly. And the performance has been absolutely outstanding.
And just looking out, Peter, behind us, they're getting very close to the finishing line now, and they're going to be just under 3 hours outside Comanche's race record. What a splendid performance, as we're closing in now on the dock and looking out towards that eastern shore.
See the
We can see
flags
the
there
lights.
on the dock. There's plenty of wind there, or certainly enough wind to keep Andoo Comanche moving, as we saw her before. And there's all the
And there she is.
port lights. There she is.
Very close to the
now.
finishing line now.
She's probably there now. Not quite, not quite. Stand by. There's the finishing box. Should see a flashing light shortly. There's the flashing light. You just see it in the middle up to the right. That's the flashing light. She's probably got it 50 metres to go, laying in beautifully to the finish. What a sight. And there's going to be absolute elation, joy, tears for this great victory.
And it's going to be a 10th Line Honours victory for Ian Murray, the sailing master, who has 9 to his credit on Hamilton Island Wild Oats. Here's the finishing line in the 2022
There's the
Rolex
point.
Sydney Hobart.
Stand by. 3, 2, 1. There she goes. Well done. Congratulations.
A triumph for John Winning Jr. and his outstanding crew as they take Line Honours and the Illingworth Cup, the Challenge Trophy, in this 77th edition of the Rolex Sydney Hobart. Fantastic performance, just under 3 hours outside Comanche's race record, and they're going to be about 20 minutes ahead of the next placed LawConnect, who's yet again the bridesmaid.
We won what we were going for and what we set out to achieve, which was the Line Honours, and that means a hell of a lot. Just still sinking in. You know, it was only less than an hour ago we were sort of still thinking, are we about to have a shutdown? What's going to happen? Just didn't feel real till the last minute. I have been here once before, so I had a little bit of an idea what to expect, but to do it, you know, in a campaign that I was part of putting together is really quite exceptional. But it's a shout out to Joe, Ian, Sam Fay. Really, those are the guys that put in the real effort to make it all happen and make the dream a reality. And then I've obviously just said yes to anything that they wanted to do to make the boat go faster and put the best team on the water possible to have the best chance of winning possible, and that's what we did. And the boat's awesome. I mean, everything from the design to the feel of it to the records that it holds, the legacy that it will hold. It's, I'm just glad that we can be a part of that, and we didn't shame it, but hopefully we added to its glory.
Can I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land and beautiful waters that surround us, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Can I congratulate Andoo Comanche on a wonderful effort in tremendous achievement in Line Honours, and can I say personally what admiration I have for all competitors of the Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. I admire your skill, your courage and indeed your sense of adventure. My fellow Tasmanians would most certainly agree with me in congratulating Andoo Comanche, the captain and crew, indeed all competitors when it comes to the Sydney Hobart Yacht Race, and Tasmania couldn't be prouder.
We're basically, what I believe, got the best crew that we could find. Couldn't have done it without any of them, and let me tell you, they could have done it without me. So they're just incredible legends. Everyone played their role impeccably, and we get along amazingly well for the diverse bunch of people that we are. Yeah, thank you. The crew are the legends.
Not a great start for us, but we popped on the port tack, as you saw there, and got ourselves on the eastern channel, sort of right up against the spectator line there, and got clean air, and it worked out well for us, so it was good. Had the game plan and we stuck to it, and it didn't work. So it's that simple really for us, and for whatever reason the breeze did change the next morning. We were expecting it to go right, it went left big time, and we were deep on the pack trying to get ready for that little right-hander, and it didn't work. So we had some good moments against them. When we're VMG running, it's very competitive, but anything pressed, we're just not in the money. She wasn't that far in front, so you get to the Derwent and have that bit of a shutdown, which could have easily happened. It just changes so quickly. They're doing nothing, in the Derwent, we're doing 25 knots across Storm Bay, so things change very quickly, as you know. And many races have been won and lost in the Derwent and Storm Bay. We've won them and lost them in Storm Bay, so it's that's the great thing about the race.
This is not a low for us. I mean, we were competitive. I think they beat us by 40 minutes, and LawConnect was 20 minutes in front of us, so we're in the hunt in a race that probably really didn't suit our boat, and so we're pretty proud of that. We just need a few more light patches in it. Like, we were competitive, but without that, the bit that gives us the advantage is when it drops down under 8 knots. Looking back on it, we had a really good opportunity sort of halfway through the race where we got a good shift that we could have taken south and split from the fleet, which would have made probably 20 minutes difference in the overall scheme.
I figure if we keep turning up, eventually we'll get one. We were always trying to look at how we could chip away into Andoo. We were able to inflict a bit of pain towards the end. I thought it was quite tricky, on the sort of breeze that's coming down, filling down the coast, and how to sort of best manage that, be in the right place, not go into any light air zones. So, I was pretty happy how we dealt with it.
I didn't expect us to do as well as we did, actually, and I think coming into towards the end, what we were doing is just watching Comanche on the tracker, and anytime they slowed down, we went somewhere else, and that strategy did work. And the crew also did a great job sailing it fast, so we were sort of, getting very close to them. I think we ended up about 3 miles away at the end, so it was really, really good. I think they're the 4 best Supramaxes in the world, and having them all going hard and all sort of very well run, etc., made it very exciting and fun.
It's just quite incredible, really. It's a dream come true. Since getting the boat, we set our expectations on this race as the Everest or the pinnacle of what we can achieve with the boat in Australia, and it's just amazing to be able to do it with my dad, with my friends, my old friends, my new friends, and obviously, just the icing on the cake of an amazing year.
The Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race delivers history-making performances. Andoo Comanche is the first boat to win line honours for 3 different owners. A titan of offshore sailing, a stunning legacy continues. The 2022 Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race is proudly supported by Rolex, the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania, Transport New South Wales, Tourism Tasmania, Events Tasmania, Tasports, City of Hobart, the Tasman, Hobart, Devil's Corner, CUB, Sail Media and Hype TV. The Cruising Yacht Club of Australia would like to thank all sponsors of the 2022 Sydney Hobart Yacht Race.